The title is quite intriguing, Leading with Purpose. Not too long ago, I was studying a fascinating story in the Quran. It's found at the end of Surah 18 and tells us about a mysterious figure. What's so unique about this story is that we don't really know who this person was. The Quran doesn't give us a name or identity, just a title. There are many theories, but nothing conclusive, and that raises a big question. Why wouldn't the Quran clearly tell us who he was? Why leave it as a mystery? The Quran also mentions that this person traveled east, west, and between mountain passes. Yet, we don't know exactly where these places are. There are endless theories about this too, but again, nothing definitive. Here's something important I've learned as a student of the Quran. It often emphasizes the goal, not the details. The human tendency is to get caught up in specifics. We want to know who, where, and how. But the Quran shifts our focus to what's truly important. It tells us, don't get distracted by what's not given to you. Focus on the lessons being presented. Now, let's dive into those lessons. This story teaches us something profound about leadership, something that applies to everyone, whether Muslim or not. It's wisdom for leaders in general. The Quran says that Allah gave this figure all kinds of resources. The Arabic word used is sabab, which means a means to an end. It's like a rope in a well. It helps you draw water. So, we can think of sabab as resources, tools, or opportunities. But what's fascinating is how he used those resources. Instead of just being grateful for what he had, he put them to work. He used his resources to create even more opportunities. In modern terms, he invested what he had to build something greater. At first, this might seem materialistic. Why not just be content with what you have? Why aim for growth and more resources? The answer lies in another part of the Quran. Take Prophet David, for example. He was wealthy, powerful, and ruled over a vast kingdom. Allah didn't simply tell him, be grateful. Instead, he said, do gratitude. What does that mean? It means using your power, wealth, and influence to create positive change. When you use what you've been given to do good, you're actively showing gratitude. This story reminds us of a key principle. Every one of us has been blessed with talents, opportunities, and resources. Think of them as investments. If we use them wisely to better ourselves and help those around us, we're truly living with purpose. I'm actually showing gratitude when I use the talents I've been given. If you have a brilliant mind but don't use it, you're being ungrateful. If you've got incredible business skills but aren't putting them to work, that's also ungratefulness. Gratitude means making the most of what you have and putting it to good use. This concept applies even in business and resource management. It's not just about giving charity. It's about going out there and doing something meaningful. Let's take an example. A king ventures out beyond his kingdom. He doesn't know what lies ahead, wealth, danger, or failure. But he goes anyway. This king wasn't content to stay within his borders. He was seeking resources and opportunities. When he arrives at a new place, he meets people from a different civilization. Naturally, the locals notice he's a king, and some of them, likely politicians, try to impress him. But he sets a clear policy. 1. If someone does wrong, they'll face consequences. 2. If someone does good, their reward is with God, not him. This is fascinating. A true leader identifies problems and addresses them. He doesn't ignore wrongdoing, even if it doesn't directly affect him. If someone is harming others, the king makes it clear, you'll answer to me. On the other hand, he doesn't reward people for doing good just to avoid corrupting their intentions. If they're doing the right thing, it should be for the right reasons, not to earn favors or gain personal benefits. The king encourages good work by creating opportunities. If you're sincere in doing good, I'll open pathways for you to do even more. This approach has a lesson for us. Let's say you're a leader, and someone in your team comes up with a great idea. They've proven themselves through consistent good work. You should give them a chance. Maybe their idea will work, maybe it won't. But their sincerity and effort are worth the shot. Here's the challenge, though. In many organizations, good ideas get lost. Why? Because of egos and rigid hierarchies. If someone at the bottom has an amazing idea, it might never reach the top. It gets crushed by layers of people who feel threatened or don't want to disrupt their routine. A rigid system stifles innovation, but as leaders, we need to create an environment where good ideas and hard work can thrive. That's real leadership, rewarding sincerity, enabling growth, and tackling problems head-on. This is so exciting. Can you just take a second to breathe? Let me finish my morning routine because you're kind of stressing me out. I think the other employees are feeling a little anxious around you too. If you could just calm down a bit. The rest of us are worried. Nobody else is concerned though, you're just comfortable being lazy, and now you're getting insecure about someone who's actually active and enthusiastic. It's like the person with energy is being quietly, or sometimes directly, told to slow down, not to be so active. But here's the thing. Not everyone needs to hear your ideas. Sure, you've got a master's degree and 20 years of experience, but that doesn't automatically mean your idea is the best. I don't believe you because I think you're scared. You're scared of new ideas because they might lead to change, and change can be uncomfortable. A lot of people don't want change. They want things to stay exactly as they are because they're comfortable with the familiar. The familiar feels safe, but the new, that's scary. What is leadership? Leadership is about exploring new territory. It's about finding people who are doing good things and making it easier for them to succeed. Leadership isn't just about what happens at the top. It's about helping others at the bottom too. It's about creating a path for everyone to grow. And yes, new ideas often fail. That's the reality. But if we build a culture of exploration and improvement, we'll create a connection between all levels, as if everyone is thinking the same way. So, this brings us to the story of the leader who made 3 stops. The first stop was pretty straightforward, but the second stop was more interesting. He came across a group of people who were so behind. They didn't even have roofs over their homes to protect themselves from the sun. Their society was so primitive that there was no point in trying to teach them anything right away. Sometimes a project is doomed from the start. Some things are beyond our ability to fix, and that's okay. It's important to know your limits. You don't need to waste resources, time, or energy on something that's not going to work. Now, for his final stop, he encounters a completely different culture. The people he meets speak a language he can barely understand, and they struggle to understand him. It's a whole new world for him, but because he has a diverse team, people from different backgrounds and cultures, they are able to find common ground. As he travels, he discovers that languages can connect in surprising ways. For example, when I was learning Persian, I realized a lot of Punjabi has Persian influences because of centuries of trade and cultural exchange. Language evolves as people come together. So, after some struggle, the leader and his team managed to communicate with these people. It wasn't easy, but they made it work. Sometimes it takes patience, a little effort, and the right connections to make progress in new territories. When they send word to the king, they tell him, "We have a criminal gang called Yajuj and Majuj. They come, destroy everything, raid, kill, steal, and take our animals. They're causing chaos. You're a king with an army. What will you do about these criminals?" The king's policy is clear. Whenever there's crime, he will deal with it. He arrives in the area and learns that these criminals are not just a small group. They're an entire army. Thousands of them. This is more than he can fight head-on, and going to war would drain his resources. But he can't just do nothing because they're wreaking havoc. So what's the best solution? Build a wall. Before I continue, let me explain. The king made 3 stops, but each place had its own unique challenge. A good leader doesn't apply the same solution everywhere. You can't say, "We did this last year, so we'll do it again this year." The world changes, and leadership needs to be flexible. What worked before may not work now, and a leader must adapt. So, the king decides, he can't stop the criminals from attacking directly, but he can build a wall for protection. The problem with walls is that they decay over time. So the king has a genius solution. He doesn't just build the wall himself and leave. Instead, he gets the people to help him build it. He teaches them how to gather the materials, melt the metal, weld the pieces, and repair the wall. Now, the people aren't just protected. They can maintain their defense themselves. This is called empowerment, training, and independence. This situation shows a key leadership lesson. Sometimes the best you can do is create a defense. In some cases, you can't solve the problem for the people, but you can empower them to find their own solutions. In other cases, the problem might be too big, and walking away is the best option. A good leader also knows when to identify and deal with toxic elements, and, importantly, recognize those who are doing good work, regardless of their rank. In any organization, a true leader creates a culture where those with good ideas can pursue them, no matter their position or qualifications. This opens the path for progress and helps people feel truly invested. Now let me share a personal experience. Some lessons in life are hard-earned. Studying the Quran is the easy part. Life's lessons are tougher. Over the years, I've worked as both an employee and an employer. One of the most interesting types of employees I've encountered is the one who believes they're God's gift to the company. They come with impressive credentials. Maybe they went to top schools or have amazing awards. And they believe their mere presence is a blessing to the organization. They don't feel the need to contribute anything. Their status is enough. But here's the thing. Even if someone graduates from Harvard, Yale, or MIT, it doesn't mean they're automatically a perfect fit. They have to be willing to contribute and work, not just rest on past achievements. The most important thing for me as an employer isn't about what you've done in the past. I think interviews are often ridiculous. Questions like, "Where did you graduate from?" or "What's your work experience?" don't really matter to me. My first question is, what are you going to do here? How are you going to do it? Why do you want to work with us? I want to hear about your goals and your drive. If someone says, "I want to bring my past experience to help the organization," the interview is over in my head. Why? Because that person is coming in thinking they have all the answers. As the leader of my organization, I'm constantly learning. I need people around me who have that same mindset, people who are always pursuing knowledge, adapting, and pushing forward. They're not here to settle into a certain rank or position. They're here to learn, absorb, and grow. Not just themselves, but also help others grow. Growth is key. Adaptation and flexibility are key. The best team members I've had are those who are eager to learn, even if they already know a lot. They never miss an opportunity to learn something new. They're not going to say, "I already know this," or "That's not how we did it at my old company." Who cares about your old company? You're not there anymore, so it doesn't matter. What I'm trying to say is, how can I inspire this kind of culture in my team? I'm not the best leader, I'll admit it. I'm the ideas guy, not the leadership guy. But one thing I can do is lead by example. I challenge my team to see if any of them are more serious about learning and growing than I am. Right now, if I stopped learning, stopped growing, and just talked into a microphone, I'd still have an audience. But I wouldn't be satisfied. I need to keep growing, keep investing in myself, and keep expanding my horizons. When my team sees me doing this, no matter which department they're from, they want to do the same. It creates a culture of growth, expansion, and creativity. I also try to keep an open door policy. I want my team to feel like they can talk to me anytime. But sometimes people say they have an open door policy, and then you go to them, and it's not really open at all. You're told to send an email or to explain something in a way that doesn't make sense. That's not an open door policy. An open door policy means you can come to me, speak frankly, but respectfully, and talk about the work, not my ego. I want people to leave their rank at the door and just have a conversation about what's working and what's not working. We spend so much of our lives at work. Work isn't just about getting things done. It's a big part of our life. It has to be meaningful, productive, and nurturing. We need to build that culture. Here's an example. Let's say there are 4 departments. 3 of them are big and have been around for a long time, but they're not as productive anymore. Then there's a small department that's showing real growth potential. If you're a good leader, You see that potential and decide to invest time, energy, and resources into the small department. But guess what happens? The bigger departments start to get nervous. They think it's a waste of resources. But here's the thing. Growth can come from unexpected places. If you want to grow, you have to invest in the areas with the most potential. If you treat the smaller department the same as the big ones, everyone benefits. The organization needs to be healthy as a whole, not just focused on one part. An organization can't function properly if parts of it are insecure or jealous of other parts. When there's competition between departments, we hurt the organization from within. We need to celebrate creativity, celebrate success, and invest where it will have the most impact. Sometimes you have to know when to stop investing in something that isn't working. That's leadership. I hope some of these ideas resonate with you. If you found this message valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with others who might benefit from it. Let's grow together and create a positive, learning-driven culture. Thanks for being a part of this journey.